would agree. Showing real-time information about somebody's location is inappropriate, and I think everyone on this call would not like that to be done to them. And there is not going to be any distinction in the future between journalists, so-called journalists, and regular people. Everyone's going to be treated the same. You're not special because you're a journalist. You're a Twitter. You're a citizen. So no special treatment.
So Elon Musk experienced displeasure as an individual was stalking the car where his infant son was at. And because of that, he made a new rule for Twitter saying that you are not allowed to track someone in real time. Now, he made a Twitter space where he got all of the journalists and explained to them that despite the fact that they are working for multi-billion-dollar corporations, they will not be treated differently, so they should stop trying to track him in real time or post links to places that do that. And it wasn't just for him, like, you're not allowed to do that to anyone. And honestly, I don't even view it as necessarily a new rule. You already have a rule against doxing on Twitter. Like, this was something that existed prior. The only difference is that journalists were never banned, or better say, blue check marks were never banned. I have seen blue check marks flat out doxing people willy-nilly. Nothing happened to them. But now that Twitter is under new management, and I guess they lack the nepotism, many journalists, including people from the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, and so forth, got suspended. And this is very important to say. They got suspended. At first, they got suspended for 7 days. And then the suspension was made for 1 day because people pointed out that, hey, Elon, like, this is a new rule. Maybe they didn't know, blah, 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 it's too much. And Elon asked the question, okay, but like, if someone is posting information for your son's location, right? Like, if your infant son is traveling and people are literally just trying to stalk him and post real-time information, should there be a punishment for that? Like, what do you think should happen? And many people said, you know what, yeah, like a suspension should be okay. Even Stick, Sex, and Hammer agreed with this. I guess it's also due to the nature and the intention, right? Like, there is no reason the public should know where Elon Musk's son is. It's not of... Like, this is something that we have in Romania. I guess, like, this doesn't exist in the United States. But it's the concept of public interest, right? Like it's one thing when you write a paper about a high-profile individual doing something that influences the public. But for example, there was this case in my country which happened long ago. There was some footage of the prime minister being naked in a gym, right? Like this was footage that someone managed to leak to the press. And the press, in order to embarrass him, they posted it. It was pixelated. It was gruesome, right? And many other journalists and people said, this is not of public interest. I mean, sure, he is the prime minister. He's a public figure. But, like, him undressing in a gym and you posting that online in order to... posting that on TV in order to make fun of him because he was a chubby individual, that was disgusting, right? It wasn't of public interest. And it's the same thing with these journalists, like posting the location of any person, even if it's a public person, it's not of public interest. Like, you don't need to know where Elon Musk or his family is at. So I can understand, at the end of the day, it's his social media. I can understand why he's upset about it. The fact that he didn't permanently ban them and just gave them a suspension is fine. But what we notice is that now they're calling it the Thursday Night Massacre. Do you know how many mass bans I have seen on social media happening since 2016? I mean, holy hell, there have been entire movements just banned in one night. Just like that, snap, and they're gone. Like, we know from the Twitter leak files that they have banned people doing this constantly. Like, for example, if you're talking about Twitter, when people were turning journalists to learn how to code, there was a mass purge back then. Thousands of accounts being deleted. Oh, but it doesn't matter. Why? Because it happened to the peasantry. Oh, I see. So now that it happens to people who work at the Washington Post, people who work at CNN, oh, because they work for other billionaires, oh, now it's a problem. Like, you want me to cry that the person from CNN who was told that they shouldn't dox Elon Musk in real time, you want me to cry that they got banned? Because I've been thinking about this. Maybe they didn't know the rules, but in reality, doxing is not allowed on Twitter, period. Like, you're not allowed to do it. And this is not a new rule. This is an old rule, by the way. Yeah, it's absolutely hilarious. Because so far, Elon Musk has banned violent accounts on Twitter. He banned child pornography on Twitter. He banned sex trafficking on Twitter. He banned domestic terrorism on Twitter. He bans real-time doxing location of Twitter due to threats against his children. But Elon is making Twitter unsafe. Yeah, I think it's making Twitter unsafe for propagandists and people who used to have privilege under the previous system that now they don't. I mean, a couple of days ago, Dr. Fauci said in an article that he feels unsafe because Elon Musk said his pronouns are prosecute Fauci. Like, I'm sorry, if you're in the United States and you feel unsafe because someone threatens you with the long arm of the law, like legal measures, right? Like, not anything, no, like he threatens you with the court system, and you feel unsafe, that's your statement, I wouldn't want to be your PR person in that situation. I wouldn't want to be the person responsible of coaching you how to speak with the public. Especially when Dr. Fauci is a public person. Like, he can't deal with this level of criticism. Okay, and of course the media was like, oh my god, well, you know, Elon, very dangerous, harmful. But when someone is doxing the real life location of his child, and he gets upset, oh no, well, how dare he? Although, you know, it is funny. I do agree to see all these journalists all of a sudden wanting free speech. It is funny to notice that they do have alternative platforms. Facebook is viable. I mean, we're not talking about like some random... No, like Facebook exists. You got YouTube. You got Twitch. You got a multitude of other platforms you can use, right? Like, you don't have to go on, I don't know, Gab. Like, you can go to all these other platforms. But for some reason, oh, Twitter is too important. And I guess it's important because that's how they do journalism. That's how they made their connections. That's where their networking is. They really can't write news by themselves. They need to talk with other people and get their news from online. Like, if you look at most of these corporations, most of them have fired their reporters. They don't even go out there in order to get news anymore. They do what I do. But they have a team and they do it more professionally and it has more bling. But other than that, they go on social media, they take the information that's there, and then they write an article about it. That's it. That's the job of a journalist now. You know, people say get a real job because you're a YouTuber. They're basically saying stop being a journalist. So, I find it also interesting that they call it the Thursday Night Massacre. It's almost like these people live and breathe on social media. Like, they genuinely cannot live without. Like, for them, it's real life. If they get banned, that's violence. It's literally violent, you know, which makes me question, like, what do they think when they ban other people? Because if you know journalists, I mean, for them, banning people is common. They usually share block lists with each other. You may have not done anything or even interacted with the person and then you're banned because you were on a block list from a time you interacted with someone else and gave them a zinger. Right? So, like, if these people find it so horrible of getting blocked and banned, imagine what they must think when they do it to other people. Oh, my mama taught me not to do something to other people that is something I don't like. You know, like, if I don't like it, don't do it to others. But it does beg the question about journalists blocking people. Yeah, so all of a sudden they're for free speech. I absolutely loved it. I didn't knew Elon Musk would be able to do this, but seeing the Washington Post and CNN write about free speech, oh, then maybe there should be more of this. I mean, if this is what it takes to get them to care about free speech, well, maybe we can keep it up for a couple more days. Then, you know, they will come to the table with me and be like, V, how can we get free speech? And I'm going to be like, motherfucker, I gotcha. Let's work together. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.